Fill us in with liver to start with.
Yeah, he's just a little bit sore in the knee. Obviously, he's had some surgery over the years, and we've got to keep playing the long game to a degree with Tom, and every week's important, and just felt like giving him a week off will freshen him up a little bit. He got through most of training, but didn't want to risk him this week.
Will he need a bit more surgery on that at the end of the season?
I've got no doubt our medical staff and David Young will get together and have a yak about that and what they can do, just to make sure they fortify Tom and give him the best chance to have a longer career. We recontracted him for another couple of years, Tommy, and and I've got no doubt he's going to be able to endure and play some really tremendous footy for us. But right at this point in time, he's just a little bit sore there.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing. Did you bring Caleb back too early?
Well, we don't think so. The injury's a little bit different to what the original one was. So, and he got through all his training, and Toby McLean's on a similar timeline, and he's fine. So, yeah, it's just unfortunate that Caleb's going through this little bit of turmoil with soft tissue. It's unusual for him, but we've got a good track record. Our staff with JJ and Easton and making sure in our return to play program that we get it right when it is a little bit longer. So I think Caleb might be out for a few more weeks, and we'll get him back, and hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Was there a specific incident with Caleb, or was it just someone?
No, it's he felt like he lacked a little bit of power, but on testing he seemed okay. And this is the strange thing with some of these hamstring injuries. It sort of manifests in different ways, and he's come out of the game and the scans show that he needs to miss some weeks.
Do you almost approach tomorrow's game like an elimination final?
Well, I think they all are, Pete. You just, but we don't. Each week you make sure you keep your eye on the priorities and what's important. We got some learnings out of the Brisbane game. They're a strong team at the moment, playing a physical brand. Felt like we were dominant in some positions, but we lost too many at either end of the ground. So the great thing is we're looking to rectify some of that against a team similar to Brisbane that haven't beaten us for a little while, and we're expecting them to come with similar vigour to what we faced last week. So, yeah, we as long as we're on our mettle, that'll take care of whether or not it's an elimination final or just another round. But obviously a pretty critical game for us.
Do you have to hit your players with that message that this is the last World Cup?
Oh, they just know. They just know. I mean, and they don't suffer fools. The boys, the new generations, they sort of, you can tell by the reaction when you remind them of something that is pretty clear. So yeah, I mean, how you approach the game, you need to make sure that your wits are about you, but also you keep a level head and a calmness. So the balance of that's important.
How pleasing is it for your younger guys, especially, that you're even in this position, given some of your trials and tribulations this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's some strong indicators, but we're always in a state of flux. There's constant change, and even our trajectory at the moment, it seems to be in the positive and heading in the right way. But you need to continue to fertilise that and make sure that it continues on. And yeah, we'd love to think that we've got a longer season than just round 23, but and we worked hard enough to, as I mentioned last week, to be in the conversation. But ultimately, the longer game, it's going to change again next year. So the challenges are there, but I've been really impressed with the way our players have worked with our coaching staff and all our staff, and we've seen some dramatic improvements in individuals. We're re-establishing our game style and what it can look like. The problem or the challenge for us has been a little bit of inconsistency there, and we've got to stave off that inconsistency and hopefully as the weeks tick by and the years roll on, that we'll be that team that will be consistent more often than not.
So just composure with the footy that beat you last week, and how do you address that?
Yeah, it's a big part of it. Sometimes it's composure and sometimes it's just raw skill, and being able to execute. There's a bit of that. Option choices, whether they're short or long. We're one of the more frequent marking sides inside 50, believe it or not. Our scoring's improved, but our inefficiencies are still there. So, those double threats of the short one versus a long one, and the decision there is always a challenge for the boys playing at any club. But we got it wrong last week, and we didn't get off on the right foot in the game offensively, and it probably cost us a little bit. Albeit Brisbane are a strong side, we would have been nice to be able to get rolling early in it, and we didn't do it. So we're playing catch up.
It's a bit tough to know what to expect from the Bombers given their injury list.
Yeah, that's the danger, I think, because they've had so many changes, and even you see Fremantle beat Geelong after we had a good game against them, and no one's picking them to beat the top side, but it can happen. And Essendon are above us at the moment, and yes, they've got some injuries, but and there can be a real strength in that. Forces you to play different ways with different personnel, and there's a hunger there, and so we've got to expect that we're going to be up against it. And as long as we're ready, that's obviously the most important thing.
I should ask you where everything sits with Dale Morris post-surgery in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Dale and Moz and I are having we had sat down for an hour yesterday and had a conversation. He's weighing up, what he wants to do in the future. And so the discussions around whether or not he wants to keep playing and what that looks like, and or what his vocational choice outside of footy is going to be, and getting that right, and us being able to help him, all those things, caring for his family, Gemma and the kids, and working through that. So at the moment, I'm not in a position to give you any certainty there, and when it happens, we'll probably we'll make an announcement, or depending on what it is, and Moz will talk to everyone about it.
Do you have a desire to coach it?
Yeah, we're discussing that and whether or not he wants to do that, and so he hasn't made a decision on that front. He'd be a good, coach, Moz. He's such a great human being, but he understands the game, and so there's some things he's weighing up and making sure that there's no great rush. You don't have to get it perfect straight away with your decision on if you don't play what it looks like, but and that's why it'll take a little bit of time.
What's your gut feel? You've obviously been such a staunch supporter of his over the journey, and he has done so much for this club. Could he still play a role on field?
Oh, well, he could. I mean, he turns 37 next year, and I don't think there's been many 36-year-olds that have ruptured an ACL, that have been determined to, keep playing at the level. Dale Morris is a very different man, and so these are the things. I mean, his knee, he was semi-walking yesterday, one crutch. He might be right around 23. But he's he loves the game. He loves the club. He's proud of what he's achieved, and I think deep down he doesn't want it to end. But it's a long journey back from a knee reconstruction. So we'll see what happens.